Hey everybody, it's Ron from Two Dudes Review, coming to you live from the Batcave just before I sit down to play Batman Arkham Knight. Now I know it's been a couple of months and everyone's already put everything on the internet, but I've avoided them like the plague. And I'm about to sit down and sup on the batty goodness for myself. Before I do that, I wanted to make this video real quick to just go through 5 things that I kind of hope don't wind up in the game. They're not things that are going to actually ruin the game. They're just 5 things that I don't think are going to be good. So here we go. 5 things that I do not want in my Arkham Knight game. Now, ever since Rocksteady announced the game, they made a big point of selling the idea of the mystery of the Arkham Knight himself. Who is he? What's his connection to Batman? He's supposed to be someone really important, but I got this really sneaking suspicion it's going to be some poor schlub, and that's going to be the biggest cop-out in the world. Whoever the Arkham Knight is, he's got to be someone that Batman knows, Batman has had a history with, but more importantly, somebody Batman and the game player would least suspect of being the Arkham Knight. Which leads me to my second point. Whatever you do, I hope Arkham Knight is not Jason Todd. For one, it's been done. Any Batman fan worth his salt knows about the whole Jason Todd Red Hood story, and even a cursory run through the history of Batman would say, hey, there's a second Robin missing. But Jason Todd isn't factored in at all in any part of the previous Arkham stories. So to shoehorn him in now would just be kind of another version of a cop-out. Everyone would expect the Rogue Robin. It would have no punch, it would have no meat. It would just be by the numbers. And frankly, Rocksteady, you're better than that. You're the company that killed the Joker, for God's sake. Life can be a dream, sweetheart, but the Arkham Knight cannot. When they announced the Scarecrow as the main antagonist, aside from the Arkham Knight, obviously, my first thought was, please, for the love of God, let it be reality-based. Because too often what happens is you will use the Scarecrow as a cop-out for some Dallas bull dreaming. I do not want to have Batman go through an entire slew of a city being evacuated, those worst fears come to realization, only to wake up next to Bob Newhart getting a phone call. Quite frankly, it's too easy, and I don't want it to happen. It won't ruin the game for me, but it'll be something I see coming from a mile away. Every writer does the same thing. And when you talk about Batman, the sum of his fears coming to realization, that's just where I go. It's all in his mind. Woo-hoo. Save the mental stuff for David Lynch. You're Rocksteady, you deal with reality. And the Arkham Knight needs to be real. Take those threads and sew them the hell up, Rocksteady. Alright? Now, the big aspect of the Arkham Knight is the introduction of the Batmobile. A lot of people are excited about this. Me, I'm a little apprehensive. Okay, because whenever an action-adventure game incorporates any sort of vehicle, well, it just plays all the same. Case in point, the 2 James Bond games, Agent Under Fire and Nightfire, both had really fun vehicle levels, but I don't want that for an entire game. They were just like, they were racetracks you could just fire things at. And I don't want that for the Batmobile. Yes, it's fun, but I don't want an entire game like 2 levels of James Bond. I want to be the Batman. Let me be the Batman. If the Batmobile is involved, that's good to get me from point A to point B to do some amazing, crazy Bat Missile stuff. But other than that, I want Batman, not Gran Turismo. I'm begging you, Rocksteady. Hands clasped, knees on the ground. I'm begging you, whatever you do, do not let the Joker be in Arkham Knight. Okay? I don't want him to be the Arkham Knight. I don't want him to be behind the scenes. I don't want to be him like Ra's al Ghul, where he's the real mastermind behind everything. When he died in Arkham City, it was one of the most poignant and beautiful moments I've ever seen. Not just in Batman history, but in gaming history, bar none. The image of Batman carrying the lifeless body of the Joker is a modern-day iconic one because it perfectly parallels not only a death in the family's Batman carrying Robin, but you even show the symbolism of Cain carrying Abel in that famous picture about the dualities of man, killer, and saint. To only bring him back would just cheapen what was honestly just a great, fantastic, wonderful ending. Not to mention the fact that Arkham City was the swan song of Mark Hamill, the man who defined, I'll repeat that, defined the Joker for generations. Not just my generation, but the generation after me, and probably for generations to come. Don't get me wrong, Troy Baker in Arkham Origins was great, but he was only doing an imitation of Mark Hamill. And that's the other part. When Arkham Origins came out, I was excited that we got a new major villain. Black Mask is a never-used archenemy of Batman's who was perfect for whatever story you wanted to show of the early days. To have him revealed to be Joker all along felt like a cop-out and just an unwillingness to move on and take a chance. That's WB Montreal. You're Rocksteady. Take a chance. Leave the Joker behind. So that's it. My top 5 things I do not want in Arkham Knight. Like I said, they're not going to ruin the game if they are in there. I just would be lessened by it. It'll lessen the experience. I expect great things from Rocksteady, and when they fail to deliver, I'm a little sad. But I'm still looking forward to it. Hey, it's a Batman game, so I'm going to have some fun. I'll see you when I get done playing it. I'll give you my follow-up ideas of what I was happy to see, whether or not my top 5 made it in, and my overall thoughts on the game altogether. Stay tuned. I'm either going to be really happy or very pissed off.
Fun. Who's for Chinese?